You are tuned in to The Art of Words, hosted by Gavin Rasmussen.
Hello, it's Gavin Rasmussen here with you again as your host of The Art of Words. Today, we are going to dissociate and go beyond the gender binary. Gender variance or gender nonconformity may seem like a brand new discussion for people, when in reality, it is a topic that has been with humans for centuries. To put it simply, gender nonconforming people are people that express themselves in ways that are different than society's views of gender expression. For example, society usually deems makeup as a feminine product, when in reality, it is a product that can be used by any person to better express themselves and to help influence one's personal identity. Let's listen to a passage from Alok Vaid-Menon's Beyond the Gender Binary as they explain a personal moment of being trapped in society's gender-conforming views.
Looking back, the worst part is I couldn't even talk about what was happening. To speak about the violence would mean acknowledging that I was different from the people around me, which would result in more violence. I couldn't talk to my parents about it because I felt like they would stop loving me if they knew that I was different. That's the thing about being an LGBTQI+ kid. You often don't have the luxury to come into yourself on your own terms because other people have made up their minds for you. I wish that my family had been more proactive. I wish they had introduced a conversation about bullying so that I knew I could speak about it happening too. I wish that they could have let me know that this was not okay. It took me 15 more years to embrace my femininity and regain the strength to wear the clothes that I wanted to and not that society told me to. When I started wearing what I wanted to again, it didn't feel like something new. It felt like reclaiming something that I had lost. It felt like coming home. Beyond the Gender Binary by Alok Vaid-Menon.
Gender is a multi-layered topic, but gender identity itself relates heavily to our mental health. When a person comes to question themselves, more specifically their gender, it can often lead to a feeling of losing oneself. With the right resources, one can push through and reflect on this feeling of dissociation. A poem from Alok Vaid-Menon's Your Wound, My Garden.
People often ask me what it was like to grow up in small town Texas. Truthfully, I don't remember. When I look at childhood photos, it's like I'm looking at someone else. The only evidence that I have that I was real is other people's stories. I scour through every stray diary entry like a private investigator trying to find myself there. But no amount of home videos, yearbooks, newspaper clippings bring me back to life. I spend a lot of time thinking about what it means to be alive. In the mechanical sense, yes, my lungs, they were breathing. My heart, it was beating. But it's up for debate if I was living. I can't tell when it happened, but at some point I began to vanish. It's like I was watching my life from the sky as an omniscient narrator. It wasn't, I am hurting. It was, look, they hurt this person. Nothing that happened to me happened to me. I became the apostrophes themselves, floating above, always at a distance. I learned how to exist in two places at once. Time travel was a Thursday afternoon because the present didn't belong to me. I lived in the future. Dissociation both saved my life and made me lose it. What a strange sensation, the grief of being alive to mourn your own death. My Saturn return lassoed me back to my hometown last year. It was the longest I had been back since I was a child. Morning after morning, I would wake up and look at the same godforsaken ceiling. Sometimes I would take long walks, hoping that it would all come back to me, that I would come back to me. A sudden flash, like in the movies. It never came, but I can tell you what did. I didn't find me. I forgave me. In one story, we dissociate because we're broken. In another, We do precisely because we want to heal. My body fought for me before I could. It innovated and insulated me, creating the space for me to daydream myself into existence. I can't pinpoint when it happened, but I began to plant gratitude everywhere in myself I felt shame, filled lack with love. I may not know what I lost, but I am here to feel it. For the first time, not I, experienced this pain. Thank God, my beautiful child, they gifted me the ability to feel.
I hope you take this time to reflect on your own identity, for questioning and reflecting in oneself is a tremendously helpful way for a person to grow. Be sure to tune in next week as we read poems collected by children during the current COVID-19 pandemic, a collection published by Christina Barron from the Washington Post's Kid Post.
This has been The Art of Words, hosted by Gavin Rasmussen. If you'd like to leave suggestions, email us at ewcfacts@gmail.com. That's ewcfacts@gmail.com. This has been an EWC Communication production.